make a Hogwarts All-Star Quidditch team?
Challenge accepted.
Quidditch is easy enough to understand. Each team has 7 players, 3 chasers, 2 beaters, 1 keeper, and the seeker. That's you.
If you didn't already know, my first love was sports, even before filmmaking. I've played sports all my life, and I continue to into adulthood. I was even recruited on a real-life Quidditch team on Twitter after they saw a video of me throwing a quaffle through a hoop at a Harry Potter exhibit. So random. And I actually think it's hilarious that there's real-life Quidditch and that it's actually a pretty physical sport. After seeing this comment, I thought it would be really fun to take my sports knowledge and mix it up with my Harry Potter knowledge. I thought it would be a cool idea to look at Quidditch players and Quidditch teams as a sort of coach and analyst and try to put together the best teams possible. I decided not to cover the pro Quidditch players, instead just doing the Hogwarts League. If I did put together a pro league though, just off the top of my head, I think I would have Victor Crumb as the Seeker. At Beater, I'd probably have a Prime Ludo Bagman. For Keeper, what was the name of the Ireland keeper in the World Cup, the 1994 World Cup? Was it Barry Ryan? I don't know, I'll fact check that later, but I would have him at Keeper. But looking at just Hogwarts players, here's how it's gonna work. I have a list of every Hogwarts player we know of, and I sorted all of them by their position. Not gonna lie, that took me a long time to put together. I'm going to rank each player at each position, and the top 3 for each will give us the 3 best teams, or as we call it in American football, first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro, and I'm also adding a third team All-Pro. And on top of that, I will also be cutting the players that don't make the cut. Chasers. For first team All-Pro, the 3 best chasers are Gryffindor's Ginny Weasley, Gryffindor's James Potter, and Gryffindor's Angelina Johnson. Gryffindor dominating right out of the gate. My placements of Ginny and James might turn some heads because 1, Ginny went pro as a Seeker, but she also played a lot of Chaser while at Hogwarts, and she was in my opinion the best we saw. Also, I know a lot of heads turned when I said James Potter as a Chaser, because most assumed he was a Seeker, the proof of this being that he carried around a snitch. But J.K. Rowling released a piece that confirmed that James Potter was in fact not a Seeker, but a Chaser. Because everybody talked about how naturally talented James was, and it was basically his entire personality, both the text and the characters have made it clear that he was a shoo-in for first team All-Pro. As for Angelina Johnson, yes, I put her above Katie and Alicia, and I did this after analyzing each Gryffindor match, and I realized that Angelina absolutely made the biggest impact on the pitch, especially when it came to scoring, which is the whole point of the position. And also, there's a reason she was made captain and the other 2 girls were not. So she to me is above Katie and Alicia, going in first team All-Pro. For second team All-Pro, the chasers I have are Katie Bell from Gryffindor, as well as Alicia Spinnet, also from Gryffindor. And joining them is the Ravenclaw captain Roger Davies. Katie and Alicia were part of possibly the most dominant chaser trio we ever saw at Hogwarts, so they were easy to pick. And as for Roger, he's a larger guy and also has a leading presence being captain, so I think he easily clears the 3rd spot for second team All-Pro. For third team All-Pro, I have Slytherin's Marcus Flint, Hufflepuff's Zachariah Smith, and Slytherin's Adrian Pusey. Flint and Smith are 2 of the most unlikable characters that ever took the pitch, but Flint did beat Gryffindor to win the championship the year before Harry arrived at Hogwarts, and Zacharias was able to defeat Gryffindor by 10 points in the 1995 season. It's also possible that he beat Gryffindor again in the 1993 season when Harry fell off his broom, although it's not confirmed that Zacharias Smith was on that team. Looking at Harry's time at Hogwarts, I feel like we can kind of compare the Gryffindor team to the dynasty of the Patriots, or the more current dynasty of the Chiefs, who also share the same color. My Eagles had something to say about that dynasty though.
He got left, pressure again, decked, ball is out, and the Eagles have it!
As for Adrian Pusey, this one might be a hot take because he was cut and replaced in the 93 season, but that was mainly because the Slytherin team wanted more brawn over brain and actual skill. And it's clear that he's the better player because Pusey got his job back the following season and played very well. I like the underdog story, so he's going in third team All-Pro. It's so funny how I'm acting like Quidditch is like a real sport and these are actual players on real teams. I'm enjoying myself though. As for the players that I'm cutting, I'm going to cut Gryffindor's Demelza Robbins from Book 6, who was okay but not great. Slytherin's Urquhart, who was an undeserving captain, not even having to earn his spot. Slytherin's Warrington, the player that replaced Pusey, who I just mentioned made 3rd team All-Pro and was clearly better than Warrington. I'm also cutting Slytherin's Graham Montague, who was a dirty player who had no game to back it up, as well as Gryffindor's Dean Thomas, who was just a substitute, Slytherin's Vasey, who couldn't stay on the field because of his injuries, and Ravenclaw's Chambers, whose only highlight was getting his shot blocked by Ron in the championship game. Then we don't know anything about Bradley, so he's also getting cut. Beaters. For 1st team All-Pro, I have Gryffindor's Fred and George Weasley. They are without a doubt the best beaters we ever saw at Hogwarts, and to be honest, it's not even close. There is not much competition. For 2nd team All-Pro, I have Gryffindor's Richie Coote and Slytherin's Gregory Goyle. I told you that the beater lineup was not good. Richie did his job when he played for Gryffindor in Book 6, but he of course could not live up to his predecessors Fred and George. And as for Goyle, his main selling point is that he has a lot of power, and on top of that, he was not as dirty a player as Crabbe. For 3rd team All-Pro, we have Slytherin's Peregrine Derek and Slytherin's Vincent Crabbe. Derek didn't do anything bad, but he also didn't do anything great either. And like Goyle, the upside with Crabbe is his power, but as said, he's below Goyle because he's a dirtier player. And let me just run through the other beaters who I'm cutting just to show you how bad the lineup for beaters was. We have Slytherin's Lucian Bull, whose only highlight was purposely hitting Angelina in the head with his bat. Then we have Gryffindor's Jimmy Peaks, who accidentally hit a bludger right at Harry during practice. And then we get even worse with Gryffindor's Jack Sloper and Gryffindor's Andrew Kirk. Sloper knocked himself unconscious with his own bat during practice, and during a match missed the bludger and hit the captain Angelina right in the mouth. And as for Kirk, when Zachariah Smith came at him with the quaffle, he shrieked and fell off of his broom. So yeah, beaters had very little talent to choose from. Keeper. There are actually very few keepers to choose from, so this should be quick. The easy lock-in for 1st team All-Pro is Gryffindor's Oliver Wood. He himself went pro after Hogwarts, albeit in the minor leagues, but he is by far the most elite keeper both physically and mentally. I don't think Oliver thinks about anything but Quidditch, so that makes sense. For 2nd team All-Pro, this was a tough one. It's between Ron Weasley and Cormac McLaggen. Cormac was clearly the better keeper in that tryout during the 96 season, and to be honest, Ron only won the job because Hermione cheated. However, looking past the tryout and looking at just matches, they both have some downsides. Ron's problem is all mental, and if he gets in his head, he's the worst keeper you will ever see. Meanwhile, Cormac causes nothing but problems for the team and actually knocked Harry out during a match with a beater's bat while playing keeper. Ron definitely has more upside because when he's not in his head, he's as good as anybody at those goal hoops. So to me, Ron is going to make 2nd team All-Pro over Cormac. And that of course leaves Cormac making 3rd team All-Pro. His competition for this spot was going against Slytherin's Bletchley, who did not save the only goal he had to in a very winnable match, and he ended up only saving 1 goal in a match where Slytherin was flattened, meaning that he let in loads more than that one that he saved. So Cormac is 3rd team All-Pro and Bletchley is being cut. Seeker. For this position, we have tons of players to go over. For 1st team All-Pro, I'm putting Gryffindor's Harry Potter. And this placement might be argued against, but we'll get to that in a minute. For 2nd team All-Pro, I'm putting Gryffindor's Charlie Weasley, Harry's predecessor. And we'll just jump right to 3rd team All-Pro, where I'm putting Ginny Weasley. Now I feel like I have to explain my reasoning for all 3 of these placements. Some could also argue that Charlie should be number 1 over Harry because many said that he could easily have gone pro. However, if we're looking at their school careers, Harry Potter is the Tom Brady of Hogwarts Quidditch. As we said, Harry was part of the Gryffindor dynasty that just kept winning. Meanwhile, Charlie only won the cup 1 time, which was his rookie year, and he never won again, even when he was made captain for the last 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Harry did nothing but win, and Charlie could not get it done in the end. And as for both Harry and Charlie being above Ginny, we are just looking at their Hogwarts careers. Throughout the 5th book, when Harry was banned from playing Quidditch ever again, everybody was just saying we need Harry back, even though Ginny was the seeker. It's clear that between Ginny and Harry, Harry was the number 1. and Ginny did not play Seeker for a lot of her time while at school, which we see very clearly based on the fact that she's first team All-Pro for playing Chaser. To be honest, I think that overall and skill-wise, Ginny is the best and most complete Quidditch player ever to be at Hogwarts. She dominated at 2 different positions. There were many other talented Seekers that I'm going to have to cut, but I will note that this is probably the most talented position out of all of the other ones that we've gone over in this video. I had Cedric next, the only Seeker to ever beat Harry to the Snitch in a game that he finished. Then I have McGonagall, who was very talented during her Hogwarts days, but unfortunately was knocked out of the championship game by a dirty hit from a Slytherin player. We don't actually know what position she played, but if I'm being a coach, which is the whole point of this video, I would definitely put her at Seeker because she was smaller and faster. Following McGonagall, I put Cho Chang. She was good, but she was quite emotional, one time even slamming her broom on the ground and crying. And she also got beaten to the Snitch a lot. After that, I have Draco Malfoy, who is a far step down from Cho and the others we've gone over so far. Then I put Hufflepuff Summerby, who even Ginny said wasn't bad, citing that she might have only gotten to the Snitch before him because he had a cold and sneezed at the worst moment possible. Below him is Slytherin's Terrence Higgs, who Harry beat to the Snitch in his first match, and who was benched for Malfoy the following year. Then after him is Slytherin's Regulus Black, Sirius Black's brother, and at the bottom is Ravenclaw's Gilderoy Lockhart, who I'm not even sure played at all. He told everybody that he did, but that could very easily be a lie, just like all the lies that are in all of his books. So yeah, he's at the bottom. Now let's take a look at the 3 all-star teams we've put together. First team All-Pro was basically the main Gryffindor team, but with Ginny and James swapped out, which really shows that they are the dynasty of the 1990s. They are the Patriots, and Harry Potter is Tom Brady. Second team All-Pro actually looks pretty good. I think Gregory Goyle and possibly Ron would be the weak spot there. But having Charlie at Seeker and Katie, Alicia, and Roger Davies at Chaser, I think they have a solid squad. And as for third team All-Pro, they are a huge step down from the first 2 teams. And to be honest, they might be good, but not great. Let me know what you think of all my picks in the comment section below though. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your takes. And that wraps up this silly and maybe stupid video, I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed making it. That's all for today though. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.